thank you for joining. I want to specially welcome you because this is a special broadcast and you are going to change from what we are about to talk about today. I want to say, please, as you join in, just like social media platforms and also please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. It will help to disseminate this truth all over the place because the work we do is very critical to humanity. The work of information, getting people knowledgeable about what is happening, and at the same time, giving them vivid understanding and clues to what is going on around us. Critically, it is important to understand that every action, that everything that you see happen in the world does not happen coincidentally. They are orchestrated by people who have decided based on their own intent and their own plans, their own intentions. So whatever you see happen anytime is not happening coincidentally. It is happening because there is somebody somewhere or some people somewhere who have decided to gain or to cause other people to lose from whatever they are doing. And you have to know that as the world is constituted now, the most prominent actions that take place politically and otherwise are actually carried out by people who have ulterior motives. And you must understand that in a place like a contraption, which is called Nigeria, like that of Nigeria, which is a contraption of the British Empire, you should know that every activity there must be criminal. It is not designed to favor you at all, no matter who is involved. And that is why it pains me when I see people who are committing their time and being dedicated to political joggers and jobbers and all of that. Those people who have seen politics as a full-time career where they steal from the people, they extort funds. Everywhere in the world politics have been corrupted, and if it has been corrupted in UK, if it has been corrupted in France, if it has been corrupted in Portugal, if it has been corrupted in Germany, if it has been corrupted in America and every part of the world, just know that the creations they have, which they indirectly colonize, are very, very also, um, you know, hi to you to the Pelosian family. Pelosian. I need to know the meaning of Pelosian. Pelosian family. I think I need to know the meaning. Thank you so much. Hi to you too. So if they have created this, if their own political arena or their own political system is corrupted, those who created the zoo and the contraption, if their political arena is corrupted, then you should know that what they created is worse. It is actually meant to feed their corruption at home, and you should know that the corruption that is in Nigeria is putrid. The smell is putrid. It has got it has passed the level of just having a bad odor and past the level of stench. It is now putrid smell beyond whatever you can imagine. I want to welcome you formally to this broadcast today. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and I want to say, please, as I always say, like this video. It is important. When you like it, your people see it. Those who are your friends and your followers, they see it. When you share it, also, you give direct message to those who should watch it and all of that. So share on all your social media platforms. And then when you subscribe, you help YouTube to find it quickly, to share it also to other people. Now, let's go straight to the politics of Nigeria. Most times I seldom talk about the politics of Nigeria. I talk about it once a while, but this time around it is very important because the reason why I have to concentrate on Nigeria and Biafra and the things happening at home more than what is happening all over the world is because charity begins at home. Everything that happens around us has a more critical, weight on us, than what happens elsewhere. Even if what happens elsewhere is also important and critical to what happens to us within. But we must deal with the things that happen elsewhere by stopping or handling the things that happen around us. Because what happens around us has a longer effect. spilling into the things that happen elsewhere. But we should understand that we cannot solve the things that happen elsewhere unless every one of us begin to solve the things that happen within us. And so that is why Nigeria and Biafra project is important, and we keep talking about it. We keep exposing the lies, we keep exposing the criminals, we keep exposing the people who are working against the people, we keep exposing the betrayals, the everything, the sabotage. Now, just 2 days ago, we saw the coalition in Abuja of Ganduje, Atiku, and other people who have come together. Arabo, was there, Toshuman, all those people, those old time criminals who have stolen, who have maimed, who have killed, their politics have destroyed, who have insulted people under the auspices of Nigeria, and who have done lots of things. And we saw them coming together saying they want a coalition. Now, I want you to understand this. Every coalition you see today in Nigeria is not because they want to get you good things or they want you to benefit from politics. No. Anything, as I'm beginning with this note now because I'm going to go deeper into some information you need to know so that you can understand that in this particular broadcast, we're going to show to you that the time for freedom has actually come, and the real time for it is now, which of course we must be aware of. And when we are aware of this, we work towards the prophecy, because every prophecy that comes, remember, America had already prophesied a long time ago that in 2030 Nigeria may not exist. They have actually prophesied it, so it's not coincidental. It is actually from the things. It's not a prophecy; it's a prediction, because they have seen the terrain, the actions, and the operations and the things that are going on. They have seen the activities of events and all of that, and they have come to understand that these things would happen, and it is not the magic. It surely will happen, but it would also take the people making it happen. It will also cause the evil people and the criminals to do worse things, because when you are a criminal, you will keep, hurting people. The people you keep hurting too also will come to a point where they develop thick skin, and they would react, and it would bring down your criminal empire at that time. So you should understand that every criminal activity has consequences. That is why you see that most empires of the world actually crumbled. You know why? They seem strong. For instance, look at the Babylonian Empire then, or let's look at the Egyptian Empire anyways. You see the way the Egyptian Empire, before the Babylonian Empire was the Egyptian Empire, before the Egyptian Empire was the Assyrian Empire, before the Assyrian Empire was you know yeah, well, the what do we call it now? The okay, from the Assyrian Empire to the Egyptian Empire, and then to the Babylonian Empire, and all of that. So now, let's look very well from the history of the Babylonian Empire. You will discover how the strong man Nebuchadnezzar, was so hard and strong, and suddenly nobody thought that he was going to lose, and his empire was going to be forever. But suddenly you saw how he crumbled, and suddenly you saw how his kingdom was taken from his son and those who were under him, and then we had the Middle Persian Empire, and the Middle Persian Empire felt like it was going to be wow all over the world. Cyrus came up, was strong, was doing the right things, and all of that. Suddenly everything crumbled, and then it entered. You saw Alexander the Great coming with the Grecian Empire, and you saw that Alexander the Great, the name looks like he was going to be marvelous, and he's going to be like he's going to last forever, and his empire crumbled. And not only did it crumble, it became divided into four. And when it became divided into four, different people started, ruling different empires. And by his generals, that his four major generals, they actually handled the four empires. And then before you know it, the Romans came and took over, and then they crumbled the Grecian Empire. And then suddenly, after the Romans took over, you saw what happened. Everything now went down. Different empires, Ottoman Empire, different empires began to come up, and the British Empire came up. And then the British, now knowing that they would one day, knowing from history that empires crumble and empires go down, they decided now to create some stuff that would live and continue to live and to favor them even if their empire goes down. Now let you understand something. The British were very smart. The Europeans, anyways, which already they broke out from the Roman Empire. We had the British Empire, you had the Portuguese, you had the French Empire, and different empires, and Ottoman Empire of the Turkish, where Turkey now became, a Muslim nation, or country and different things. Now, one unique thing that these colonial masters did was that they discovered that the only way they can sustain their empire, even when it crumbles, is to influence the locals of different places to continue to have their stooges. That means they have to corrupt the people, and then they will continue to have their stooges in those places, which will always represent them, and then they will keep using the stooges to steal from them, from those locals. Now, for them also to sustain that stealing program, they needed foreigners who would invade those places and take control, and those foreigners will continue to liaise with the indigenous people so that they can always steal from the people. And that was the strategy of the British Empire. I'm looking at British Empire alone. I'm not looking at the because it doesn't concern us. What we are under right now is the British Empire holding us down through colonial programs and strategies and through proxies like the Nigeria government and all of that. The name Nigeria is created to form the basis of that. And when children are born into it, they begin to say, "Oh, we are Nigerians," because you are singing the national anthem and national pledge. So it keeps getting into your mind, and that is the problem we have today, that majority of the people who are screaming Nigeria and want one Nigeria are actually people who were born in the, like us, who were born into Nigeria. But we now began to make reason properly, and we began to make researches, and we began to get knowledge, and we began to see that our being Nigerians is actually an error. And that is why today I decided that even my name, because when they name you, who names you controls you, who names you owns you. That is why we are saying that the name Nigeria should be obliterated from the face of the earth, because that name, as on a people, definitely proves who owns them. When you say you are Nigerian, the first thing that comes in, oh, the creation of the British. Oh, okay, you are owned by the Buckingham Palace. That's the conclusion. And our people don't know this. So when you see people like Reno or Mockery and Very Dark Man and most of these people who are promoting the doctrine of Nigeria, listen to me. I have said it before. I said it last year, 2024. 2023 also, I made a broadcast about this. I also made a broadcast about Reno last year also. Was it last year, 2024 or 2023? I talked about Reno. When I looked at his post and everything, I discovered that his program and his role in the construction or the design of Nigeria is to keep the people continually engaged in the Nigerian narrative, so that their mindset would always be, we need to do something about Nigeria. Yes, there is something going wrong. Things are not going well. Things are not working. There's poverty, but we can make it work. And so they would come with different narratives and keep talking. Now they discovered something. Now look at Reynolds and lines. Now he discovered something, that the attention of Nigerians, yes, let me say Nigerians. Well, Nigerians are made up of people, the foolish people from the different tribes, whether Yoruba nation, whether Hausa nation, whether Fulanese, whether East Biafrans, anybody from those tribes that are foolish decide to bear the name that Britain gives them. Those are the people who are not intellectual, so they are called Nigerians. Now, Reno discovered that many Nigerians are very concerned about Peter Obi, right? So he now said, okay, since the focus is on Peter Obi because of their frustration of their political expectation under Nigeria and their frustration that they cannot even get their freedom, so they have to look at one other place, especially when Mazin Amkan was kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned. They began to get hopeless. Some of them who are not tenacious in their thinking and reasoning now thought that they need to go to and believe in something, at least let them have something that will give them hope. They saw an Igbo man, oh, it's Peter Obi, okay, he's not, okay, he looks different, let's have him. Now, people like Reno are positioned for such kind of programming. What they do is this: once they see your focus, they will engage you in that focus, and that is what Reno has been doing. All he keeps doing is fire Peter Obi. As he's firing on Peter Obi, he's promoting the government on seat, not because the government on seat is actually working for the people, but because, of course, he has been contracted to play that role by the government on the seat. So when he's playing that role, he tries to discredit the ones that the people who are Nigerians are putting their minds on. And then as he's discrediting that one, he's promoting the other one. And then he's giving you statistics of things that are not even reflecting in the lives of the people. Yes, we know that those statistics are there, put together by they themselves, the the contraption itself, and their masters, under the agencies created all over the world, like IMF and other institutions that are created by the colonial masters to regulate and design and create and put together information to keep the people thinking that they are making progress, whereas they are, what is the GDP, personal GDP of the people? Now we are talking about this. The GDP of an individual in Nigeria is nothing to write home about, but you are giving us GDP of the whole place, of the contraption called Nigeria and whatever they are doing. And everything that happens from is still going into the pockets of those who own the contraption. And the people who are actually held under that contraption keep living with the meager sum that they have. So, what benefit is it to the people? Now, so you see, but now he keeps giving you analysis, and Reno will keep you busy. So, he will be giving you statistics, promoting the government and seat, and then talking about the one you are thinking is going to give you hope. And then the more he talks about it, it makes some of the Nigerians angry, and then they will begin to feel that this man is talking about, there's something about it. Let's push him, let's promote him. So, you see, this strategy is double edged. You know, it's a double edged sword. One, he is promoting the one on the seat, which is Tinubu. He is also making you feel that by him being on the seat, so many things have happened positively. Two, he's this um he's depromoting. Let me use that word, depromoting the other Peter Obi, and he is making those who also didn't even know him and see him as somebody who is important also to see that this man too has a value. Because some people say, why are you targeting this man? We must support him. So he is continually using this strategy to keep the people continually thinking about everything that is Nigeria. And so before you know it, the people's mind is no more on Mazin Namdekan. The people's mind is on Nigeria. So you see what it is now. You must understand that all of these people like Reno, very dark man that you people are promoting on social media and hailing and all these things people are doing, you are only trapped. These people don't work alone. They work with either the opposition or they work with the government in power. It is strategic to continue to engage you in the platform, on the platform of Nigeria, so that you would not be thinking of anything else but, oh, we can make it great, just like we have MAGA in America, making America great. Yes, you can talk about MAGA in America because MAGA in America represents the people, because the people created America, the people fought for America, the people brought America to light. You didn't fight for Nigeria. You didn't create Nigeria. The British came and named you and called you Nigeria. They even went as far as giving you different states and naming them. And in fact, the most annoying is the one they did at Atiku. They called Port Harcourt, calling it the name of one pedophile, imbecilic pedophile, whose name is Harcourt, and his name is now, the people in a whole community in Igbo land is now bearing Port Harcourt. So my name is no more Igocha. My name is no more my indigenous name from my forefathers. My name is now a name of a person who is a very idiotic person in the British contraption. So you see what is happening. So we must understand, one, that the name makes us work according to the tenets of what the name represents. When you see people who are working for Nigeria, you discover that they actually work in the tenets of what the name represents. So that is the problem. So when you see people like Darkman, Reno, Mokri, and other people who are analyzing Nigeria and trying to make you think that things are going to get better, you should continue to believe in it. You should continue to fight in it. They are working for the government in power, or they are working for the opposition. Anyhow, whatever parts they are, they would always promote the narrative of Nigeria. So anything under the political platforms of Nigeria is definitely for the politicians and for their masters, the British. So you should understand this. I want to put this as the first submission here before I go in deeper into what I'm going to talk about today. Now listen. I will take out time to see how I'm going to narrate the doctrine of Nigeria to everybody. Doctrine of Nigeria, the doctrine of Nigeria. People need to know the doctrine of Nigeria, and I'm going to constitute the doctrines line by nuggets, and all of that, and place it before the people. Let's understand the doctrine of Nigeria so that we can understand what it actually means and what it represents and what it is to the people, how it affects the psyche of the people, how it pollutes the operations of the people, and how it determines the destiny of the people. This is critical. So most people don't understand this, and that is why we make the mistake always to embrace the doctrine of Nigeria. It is very dangerous to embrace the doctrine of Nigeria. I see, and you see, religion has been the means of control, as J.F. Kennedy sorry, yes, J.F. Kennedy said, in his interview with Tucker Carlson, he said that you know. Indoctrination, religion has become the force of indoctrination, and he talked about the religious program that is spelled out in institutions under every government. The institutions create narratives and promote them in their adverts, and it becomes like a religion, and so people naturally just go and believe them. They are making you not to make research. They don't want you to research anything. They want you to continue to believe in what they are telling you. And just like what happened during the COVID time, they say just don't search, don't make your research, don't ask questions. Just believe in the professionals. We are working for your good, so just believe in us. So all you need to do is think about us, believe in what we are doing, and you would get better. And they created this virus. The Fauci, some of you have heard of the name Fauci, a medical guru in the US, was the one who was in front promoting the creation of the virus at Wuhan lab, a military lab in China. And these things were created, and they hid the DNA of that virus so that people would not, because when you read through the DNA, you will understand if this virus is created or not. They hid it, they kept it away from people, and they gave Fauci immunity. Biden administration gave him immunity so that nobody will probe him, so that nobody will take him to court, so that nobody will get to probe into the matter and get the facts. Now these are criminal actions and things that are going on. The world is getting, it is terrible everywhere, but we must understand that charity begins at home. We must change it. We can deal with what is in our situation, in our problems, in our homes, and deal with the matter right there before we can go elsewhere. Now listen, remember last year 2024 there was a particular kind of protest against them, against Buhari's, I'm sorry, Tinubu's government in the north. Then you saw people carrying Russia flag, and you saw the Northerners carrying Russia flag. It meant so much. Remember, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic are Sahel states that are now under the influence of Russian support and help. Remember that. Now, Russia is a critical enemy of the West, even if Vladimir Putin is a friend to Trump. Yet the country of America and Russia are still cats and rats. Cat and rat. So the West, Britain, Portugal, Germany, France, all of them see Russia as enemies. So, which means that anything that Russia, because they feel that Russia has the capacity or the propensity to advance very quickly. They have the potentials, they have everything. And the competition is that who is going to lead the world. That is the competition. Most of you don't know this. The competition is about who leads the world, not anything else. So they see Russia as a very serious rival that they need to do anything to bring it down so that America will continue to be on top. That's the idea. So when they began to notice Russia's influence in Africa, it caused more anger and bitterness. That is what is causing the Ukraine war, because it's about territory control and holding Africa down and taking the resources of Africans. That's just what is the Ukraine. The Ukraine war is all about Africa. You are entering too much. You are penetrating too much. So we need to bring Russia down so that we can make them lose their grip on those African nations they are holding, and then we'll be able to control those African countries and lead the world. It's about American interests. Now let me give you an instance. Recently, about 5 days ago, 4 days ago or so, I think last week, Friday or so, and today is the 3rd of July 2025. So about 5 days ago or so, America, through Trump, brokered a peace deal with in what do you call it now, in Sudan. RSF and the government. Now, the basic front for that peace deal was for America to have access to the. Now, do you know? Do you know that? Did you know that the um, Congo and Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the richest in mineral resources in the world. Sudan also is rich in resources. Now, the deal in Sudan was that America was going to have access to Sudanese resources and the paving the way for their interest to be more embedded in Sudan to help them also solve the issue. They know the problem between the Sudanese RSF and which are sponsored by Rwanda and the Sudanese government. Yet they came in, utilized the weakness and the problem for their own gain. The fighting in Sudan is about resources. Now they came in and stood in to benefit more in the resources for the people to also be under them and work with them. So they will be benefiting so much from Sudan. Now listen, today Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic are totally free from France, and they give their obeisance to Russia. Russia is partnering with them. They are partnering with Russia. Now the intention here is for them to really work on a mutual beneficial platform with Russia, because with Russia they are working on a mutual and very beneficial platform. It is not like the colonial style or the arrangement, but it is about Russia being part of their economic growth and development at the same time making their benefits and interest better, from that end, but not in the colonial setting or design. So today, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria are making more in earnings, internal revenue generated. I'm sorry, external revenues generated from all over, or internal revenues generated anyways from their mineral resources. Yes, internal revenues generated from their mineral resources. They are making better more from what they have from their resources than when the French. Remember, you see, the French was milking them so much, but now they are making better with Russia because it's now a cordial relationship thing, and Russia is helping them in their security and defending their land. That is why you see that now a lot of you know terrorist attacks are in those places because the West are the ones sponsoring terrorism everywhere. They use Islam, knowing that Islam is violent. That is why you see that if you go to UK, France, and all those places right now, Islam is growing so much. You know why? Islam has been embraced by this government, and more Islamic people are coming into the government. And so the idea is these people are violent. They know how to take things by force. So they use the terrorists who are very deadly to go into African territories and conquer and take over lands and take over things and cause them also to be to relinquish their seed and so that they can spread GMOs and kill their people, take over their lands because they know that they can control the Fulanis easily, especially when they are illiterate. So these are the things happening. Now look at it. When that riot, or I'm sorry, not riot now, when that protest began in the northern part of Nigeria in 2024, the northerners started picking on Russia flag. Remember? They were telling the West that, see, you have now given this power to this man. Now we are no more in part of you. We are no more interested in you. And you see, the game the West is playing is this. They need to balance this thing so that they don't cause the breakdown of the Nigeria they have created. So they needed the power to move from the north to the south, from the south back to the north. No more north, south, east, west. No, it's now north to south, south to west. You know, that's what they want. And now, I'm looking at it critically. They want now the power, because of the situation of the Buhari administration, they now decided to move it to the south so that it will look like people will now relax. Okay, the Yorubas, everybody will now relax and say, okay, it has come to the south at least. And then they use people like very dark man and some other people to promote the fact that even if it has not gone to the east, it is still part of the south. South Yorubas and Igbos are one. You are one. So anybody coming from there is representing you. And then also they began to push the narrative that after all, Tinubu's father is from Anambra State. Of course, I think there are evidences also that Tinubu's father is from Anambra State. Anyways, but that's not the issue. The issue here is that the south, where he is strongly in and where he belongs, which is the southwest, is carrying the power. Now they are using people like Reno or Mokri to push it now, to tell you that now after this, after Tinubu does his 80 years, he should go back to the north. Now you see this the idea. Now these are their PRs. People like Reno or Mokri are PRs working for the colonial masters. That's why you see them, they are abroad. They're pushing the narrative. They are paid for it. It is their job. So whatever you see them do, don't think that they are holy. And they always want to bring nuggets of them telling you about daily growth and spiritual things, and telling you about how you can make things, how you can work, how you can make money to make this, so that you feel like, oh, this man is good. This man wants my prosperity. This man wants my success. So when he keeps preaching, success to you and giving you ideas to success and giving you nuggets and all those things he gives and tell you, oh, if you subscribe to me, you're making money. There's nobody who subscribes to me that doesn't make money. All these ideas is to keep you busy and happy that they are actually for you. They are concerned about you. Everything they are doing is for you. It's not about politics. It's about telling you who is right and how we can make Nigeria grow and how you can make your personal benefits and all of that. It's not about how you get yourself free from slavery. It's not about how you're going to free yourself from the grip of the colonial masters. No, don't talk about that. Just be concerned about growing what the colonial masters have given you and being under their trap and under them to continue to do what you have to do, and forget about whatever they are doing. Just keep doing what you are doing. Just subscribe to me and do and believe in one Nigeria. Just go on with Nigeria. Nigeria is good. It's better because it doesn't make us fight. It doesn't make us quarrel. It doesn't make us if we begin to talk about dividing now, we begin to see wars and all of that. They make you afraid of your freedom. So that is what is happening. So now, when this now happened in Mali and Sudan and all of that, Russia now is in control. So now the West is fighting Russia. So Russia now is the issue for the West. Now the people in the north, remember, they are in close proximity with Niger Republic. Remember, Niger Republic and the north are one. It was the colonial masters that divided it, gave that part to French, or the French, or to France, and gave this part, and they took this part during the Berlin conference they had those years, 18 something, I can't remember right now. They divided imagine Hausa nation, they divided it into two, gave one part, called it Niger Republic, and gave it to France, and then they divided another part. They keep dividing. Look at what they did to the Igbos. They cut away Igbocha side, which they call Port Harcourt, and say now these you people are no more part of the east, you are now south. Why this is southeast, and then they bring about 6 or so states within and say they are called Igbo and southeast, and then they cut other people who are Igbos or connected to the Igbo nation, or generally everybody in that Biafra land, including the Ibibios and everybody. All of them are called Igbos. It's not about the language and all of that, but because they are from the same place. So they now call you southeast and south to divide you. Today, that is what they want to do in the north. But they have discovered, listen, the West have discovered that the more they try to divide these people, Niger and the north, it doesn't work. Because they still continue, they believe that they are one. Nothing else have a way of preserving, because now, through their culture and religion, they preserve their culture, they preserve themselves and all of that. The British thought that when they divide them and make this one sound French, or of the French nation, and then this one, the British, they would still be divided. But the more they try to do this, the more they are still bonding because of their religion. So their religion is stronger than the doctrine of the colonial powers. So the colonial powers are now seeing the danger in the northern side continuing holding power, because now that the French side could actually have the guts to embrace Russia, it simply means that the other side, it is with time, they will collapse into Russia. That's what they see. They believe that the northern part of Nigeria is just a matter of time, they will collapse into Russia. Now, when power was moved to the south and Tinubu was given power, the north now felt, yes, now that we have lost power, let's begin to align with our brothers in Niger Republic, and these are brothers whom we are going to align with are with Russia. So they being with Russia, we have discovered they are making more now, and we are here being under Nigeria. We have been having power. Power has made us to turn blind eye to what is happening in, with our brothers with Russia, and because we are blinded by power. You know, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when power was in the north, they were turning a blind eye to what was happening to their brothers under Niger Republic and who have aligned with Russia. So, but suddenly, when power was taken from them, they discovered, oh, we can join our brothers in Niger Republic. We can now align with them. So they began to carry Russia flag, and that is why you see that they started arresting some of them and all of that. And but they didn't do anything to them. Then the West now discovered the danger. Oh, this Nigeria is very fragile now because once power, we must rotate power. If it doesn't go from north to south, if it continues in the north, they are going to be okay. But the south will revolt, and there will be a total disintegration of Nigeria. They know that. If we now rotate it, the north, anytime power goes away from them, they remember their brothers in the Niger Republic, and they will fall into that stuff, and they will begin to follow. So now we see a danger having them continually having power, and we see the danger continually not have letting them have power always. So they are not stable because when power moves to the south, we need to sustain what happens there. And Russia is having influence gradually into them. And we're going to lose the north. So, however it is, there is still this shaky stuff that the West cannot solve. The truth about it is that whenever the North gets power, they would feel like they are okay. One day power moves to them to the south, there is the need for a strategic grip on them to keep them away from getting to Russia. But the period when power moves away from them, Russia is talking, Russia is influencing, Russia is getting, their brothers too are talking. Russia is talking through their brothers to their people in the Hausa nation. So the truth about it is that Nigeria is in a critical situation that cannot ever be salvaged or cannot be solved. And this is the time that we have to take up the action and responsibility. Now listen to this. Tinubu himself has already built a very strong hold in the political terrain of Nigeria, and he is strongly playing the game well for the West. So the West sees him as a good ally, and they see him as someone they can rely on because he has control on his brothers in the Southwest. And keeping him in control of the Southwest is very good business for the West. Now, for the Southeast also, they see a problem. The Southeast does not well align with the Southwest because they keep having this confrontation based on inferiority complex by the West, Southwest, the Yorubas having this inferiority complex against the Igbos, and so this has not created that unity they wanted, the bond they wanted, so that when they control the Yorubas, they can control also the Biafrans. So this is shaky for the West. So now they are looking at it critically. How do we get the Yorubas and the Igbos to work together? Tinubu is a bounding force for the whole of the West. The Igbos don't like him, even if his father is from Anambra, according to speculations. Now, how do we get this bond? But of course, let's try to keep them to understand that it's about South. It is not about Southeast and Southwest. But of course, within, everybody says no, Southeast, Southwest. But the only solution here now is for us now. Before I get to the solution, let me continue. Let me finish the analysis. The North is already shaky because Russia is still influencing. As much as power has left them, they are trying to see how they can get power back. So Atiku and Co have been influenced, or they have been tipped by the West to form a coalition to see how they can try to keep the northern people, because Atiku has his own loyalists, Ganduje has his own loyalists, and the other Arubeshola, they are also linked both in Yoruba and the Muslim world and all of that. They have their own loyalists. So with their influence, they can use their men and all of that to keep their people in check. So they have seen that these are the men who are strongly, and the other man, David Mark, for the middle belt. Now they have seen that these are the men who can hold the whole of the north, both the middle belt and the north, together and keep them strongly somewhere. Now they are working with Tinubu to see that how they can be able to work whether with this coalition, knowing that this coalition holds the north very well. Tinubu also holds the southwest. But for the southeast now, it's a danger for them because they know that anytime power goes in there, it is danger for every other person. There will always be this internal wrangling. The north will not like it, the southwest will not like it, and everything seems to. So the thing is so shaky for them, but they feel that the best card is to either have Tinubu continue for the next 4 years or 8 years, and after that, they allow the Ganduje, David Mark, and all those ones who have come as coalition to have the power. Because once they are able to get the northern people to be silent and get the southwest also to be satisfied that they have had their 80 years, they would be able to control other things with force. They will keep having the southeast militarized, getting the military in there to keep killing the young men, to keep putting fear in us. So that is the strategy. Since it is not it's easy to send military to the north to begin to kill the young men and all of that, all they can do is to go to the front where they say they have Boko Haram and all those places, and they still set them up and kill them. But they know they cannot send military checkpoints and all of this stuff in southwest the way they should do it, and in the southeast, I mean in the north. They know they cannot do that, in spite of the fact that that's where the real killings and the evils going on with terrorists are. They refuse to do that, but they see that they believe that in the southeast, all they need to do, since they cannot give them the power to come take over, they need to use the military to threaten them, keep them in fear, keep them in check, and continue to disappear the young people who are strong enough to work. They know all of this stuff. And this is where the game is so dicey for people who are in the southeast, because any little thing they have saboteurs around who would help, who would actually sell you out, just like what they did to Mazin Namikano. They strategically kept the southeast, in serious forceful military check, but they know that they cannot militarize other parts like the southwest and the north. But they can militarize Biafra land because the saboteurs who are there have been given so much power, and they have their men corrupting the local vigilante and all of that, penetrating everywhere, so that they can put IPOB in check, and especially yes, and anything Mazin Amekano is doing. Every other thing, they are not a threat. The only threat is IPOB. That's the main threat. So you should understand that that's the game plan. So we have been put in that situation. So it doesn't matter what we say in the political arena, whether Peter will be or not. They know that the important thing to them is the West, which is Tinubu having the stronghold in the West and making sure that all the best men around the whole states in the West are making money. And then they have the south and the north, where they have the strong men coming together now to form a coalition. It is a strategic political game they are playing, knowing that the southeast is not a problem. Whether Peter becomes or not is not a problem. The problem is how they can salvage or satisfy the north and satisfy the west. And the plan is, okay, even if this coalition come together, we can still see if it is by calculation. They are watching the body language of everybody. Do we allow Tinubu continue for 8 years? The people are even getting dissatisfied. So it's like the people. So we need to bring a Yoruba man into the coalition in the north. That's why they brought Arabeshola or Arabeshola or whatever they call that man. Put him in the coalition. They brought David Mark from the Middle Belt. They brought Atiku. They brought Ganduje from the core north and all those people. And then they brought a Yoruba man into the equation. Now remember, Arabeshola also has an influence in Yoruba, terrain. So now they say, okay, since Tinubu is standing alone, he has other people who are making money seriously, and they're allowing them to make money at this time. So in case in the equation they discover that they can still allow Tinubu continue for under 4 years, but if not, then it simply means that Nigerians will have the option of choosing either Tinubu or having this coalition. Now, when you choose this coalition has a Yoruba man there, it has David Mark there, it has also the other person there. So it is like this coalition would be useful to hold Nigeria down so that it doesn't break, knowing that the East is not a problem because they have put the military there in their streets, checkpoints everywhere. Now, this is how we are going to solve that problem. The breakdown of Nigeria is in our hands. This is how we are going to do it. And it is very simple. IPOB commands control on every territory in Biafra land. We are going to make sure, and it is the responsibility of everybody. If we don't do it together, we are going to fail. The time for us to use this as an excuse to bring down Nigeria has come. And it is not by carrying weapons or gun. Simple. We all in our communities will decide not to vote. We will not come for election. As Mazin Namekano said, as we even said at that time when Mazin Namekano was kidnapped, an extraordinary rendition. Then what the plan was that nobody votes for Soludo, nobody comes for the general election. everybody will shut down. And the problem is that we still have people within us who would want to spoil that narrative. That's the problem. But we need now to begin to find ways of dealing with those people now, so that when the time comes for the voting, the 2027 thing they want to do, we are nowhere to be found during the election. That's the solution. Once the Southeast does not vote, there's no where you see somebody coming to put something and people coming to line up. Once we are able to achieve that, we will destroy the colonial stronghold, we will destroy Tinubu's plan, we will destroy the coalition plan, we will crumble the system, because the election will be inconclusive. It's as simple as that. Very this is 44 minutes also, to going on 44 5 minutes. I will just stop here. I will take my time to explain this in another video. I will explain it how we can solve this. This is the beginning. It is time we begin to preach this. Now I'm going to give it now in a clearer, shorter way, the calculation by the West and how we can outsmart them, unless if we are not smart as we think we are as the Igbos. But if we are smart, this is the time now to mess them all up. Peter Obi is not it right. Even if they decide to allow Peter Obi to come in, the truth about it is that the North will still control the narrative. So Peter Obi is not the issue here. Peter Obi is a stooge and an instrument for them. He's just there as a third option for them. Tinubu is the first option, Atiku and Co. second option, or the two best options. Then Peter Obi is just somewhere, because they know that the only problem would be from the North. When the North revolts, it's the revolt, and from the West also joining the North in that regard. But if the East stand alone, they know how to control the revolt from the East. They will just begin to disappear our men, and nothing happens. Britain will clap for them, United Nations will clap for them, everything is okay for them. Now this is the time we can outsmart them without shooting a bullet. This is the time. I'll continue this broadcast by tomorrow, hopefully by God's grace. And I want to see you here tomorrow. Please join me, and please share this now to people, so they can listen and come for the next broadcast. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. It is time we make impact in the lives of people, and this is the time. Thank you so much. And let me go to my work and continue my work right now in the office. I'm in the office, so let me continue to work and do what I have to do for the day. And you also enjoy the rest of your day, whatever, whether in the evening, morning, afternoon, or what time you have in your place. I say, may God bless you, and continue to stay strong. Let's begin to think. Everybody begin to think now what we need to do. It is time we break down the contraption by strategy and by being smart. Leave money now. You will make money after Nigeria. See, you will make enough money. You will be comfortable and okay when we stand as a nation of Biafra. You will be better comfortable without struggle, without stealing, without having your conscience judge you. You will make enough. So let's put this together. Let's sacrifice and do it together, and you'll see how we're going to win. Thank you so much, and God bless you very good. Thank you for being part of this broadcast.